are going to study about the apparent depth and the real depth. So what is apparent depth and what is real depth means, when you observe the swimming pool, so what we will see means the bottom of that swimming pool will appears to be slightly raised. And second example, in our daily day we are observing that example is, if you take a coin and if you place in the water, means in any glass if you place, then that coin will appears to be slightly raised. So that is because of which phenomenon, means our answer is refraction. Due to refraction of light, that means slightly raised position we will see. So we will now we will try to understand with the help of ray diagram. So now we will take one tank. So this is our tank, and this is the surface of the water, and this is our interface. Here is the water and here is the air medium. So this tank is filled with the water, and next after that, see here our coin is placed. This coin is placed inside the water, and when we observe this coin from the upper side, then what we will observe means this coin is slightly raised from its original position. Why it appears to be raised means because of refraction. So let's start. So here we will place our eye, means from here upper side we are observing. So this is our eye. So now after that, if this coin, if we are observing, means our condition is what? In ray optics already we have stated that if any two rays entering in our eyes, then only we can see the object. So this is this coin is our object. If we are observing this coin, means two rays must compulsory enter in our eyes, then only we can identify the object. So first ray we will take it as normal, which is going perpendicular to this surface. After refraction also it will be on the same path. So this is called as the normal incidence, which is making 90 degree with the surface, is called as normal incidence. So next after that, one ray will strike here. So when this ray is striking here, means what happens at this surface? Here is the surface which is separating the two medium. Here this is the water which is having refractive index mu w, and this is the air which is having refractive index mu a. Here both are having different refractive indices. If both are having different refractive index, means both are having, means in this both medium light will travels at a different speed. So when light travels from one medium to another medium, what it will do? It will bends. Either it will bend towards the normal or away from the normal. So here light rays traveling from which medium? So water is a denser medium and air is the rarer medium. So this light ray is traveling from denser to rarer. So when light ray travels from denser to rarer medium, light bends in which direction? Light bends away from the normal. So for that, here I will draw one normal line. So this is our normal line. So for this normal line, the light ray must go in this direction, but instead of this direction, light ray will travel in this direction, which is away from the normal. So this is our refracted ray. So this refraction we will call it as point A, and this refraction is the B, and this refracted ray is the BC, and this refracted ray is the AD. See, this XY is the interface which is separating the two medium. This is our object. So now after that, what happens means these two rays will enter in our eyes, but these two rays are diverging rays. So diverging rays will never meet, so image will not be formed. So for that, our second option is what? We will retrace the rays back. So this is the ray which is coming back on the same path because it is normal incidence. But when this ray is coming back, what happens at this point means our eye will not go in this direction, means our eyes are not having capacity to bend the light. So this light ray will go straight, and here these two rays are meeting. These two are the backtraced rays, and here our image will be formed. So next after that, see here this total depth where the coin is placed from the surface, it is called as the real depth. So next, this where the image is formed, this position to this surface level, so this depth we will call it as the apparent depth. So we will call it as apparent depth. So next see here, this object or this coin is placed here and image we are obtained here, means this distance has been shifted. So this distance we will call it as the normal shift. Why we will call it as normal shift? Means it is shifting perpendicular to this surface, means this is shifting in this way, means perpendicular, so we will call it as the normal shift. That we will calculate later. First we will try to understand the relation between real depth and the apparent depth. For example, if this real depth is 10 centimeter, if you consider this real depth is 10 centimeter, then what will be the apparent depth? Whether it will be 5 centimeter, whether it will be 7 centimeter, whether it will be 3 centimeter. So we don't know, means where the image will be formed, how much the distance has been shifted. So to calculate that value, we need to understand the relation between apparent depth and the real depth. So for that we need the formula to calculate this apparent depth and the real depth. Real depth actually we know because we can measure the height easily, but where the image is formed, that is our question. Means to find out this apparent depth we need the formula. So for that we will derive one formula. So first we will apply Snell's law. Snell's law. What our Snell's law will says? Our Snell's law says that refractive index is equals to sin I divided by sin R. This is the formula of the Snell's law. Next, after that, here I have written the refractive index. Here we are having two medium. Here this is having refractive index mu W and this is mu A. Which refractive index will you take? So our answer is always we have to take the refractive index of that medium in which the refracted ray is present. So the refracted ray is present in the air medium. So here I have to take the refractive index of air with respect to water. Understood? Always we have to take the refractive index of that medium in which the refracted ray is present, because this is our incident ray and this is our refracted ray, and this refracted ray is present in the air medium. So we have to measure the refractive index of this air medium, because this medium is trying to bend the light ray. This is not bending the light ray. This water medium is not bending. Air medium is bending the light ray. Suppose if the light is coming from air to water, then which medium we have to take? We have to take the water medium. So here I have taken air with respect to water. So next, after that, refractive index of air with respect to water is equals to sin I. Now we want to calculate this sin I value. Then how we will calculate? Means see here, if this is our incident ray and this is our normal. So this angle we will call it as angle of incidence. This is our refracted ray, this is normal. So this angle is the angle of refraction. So now see these lines, this angle and this angle will be equal. So we will write it as I. Why these two angles are equal? Means this line and this line, these two lines are parallel and this line is cutting the two parallel lines. So these two are the adjacent angles. So these two angles are equal. Next, after that, this line is parallel and this line is parallel. This line is cutting both the parallel lines. So this is angle R. So this angle is also R. So now to calculate this sin I value, we will take this triangle AABO. Why we are taking this triangle? Means in this triangle we can apply the Pythagoras theorem and we can find out this sin I value. So for that sin I value, our sin theta formula is what? Sin theta is equals to perpendicular by hypotenuse. So perpendicular is AB. Perpendicular is AB and hypotenuse is BO. So we will take here sin theta value is AB divided by BO. We are taking this triangle ABO. So in this triangle, this is the angle I. Angles opposite side is the perpendicular, angles adjacent side is the base, and 90-degree angles opposite side is the hypotenuse. Always remember, if we are considering this theta, so opposite to this theta, which side is there? That side is always perpendicular and adjacent side is always base. So here AB by BO. Next, sin R. So to find this sin R, Sin theta formula is perpendicular by hypotenuse. So this is perpendicular and this is the hypotenuse for this triangle. So we will take here AB divided by BI. So next, after that, refractive index of mu with respect to water, AB divided by BO multiplied by BI divided by AB. So these two will be cancelled. So what is remained? BI divided by BO. So now if I reverse this condition, if I take refractive index of water with respect to air, means this is also reverse. So now I will write here refractive index of water with respect to air is equals to BO divided by BI. Next, after that, for small angle, means if the theta is very small, then see here this angle and this angle, they are very small, because these two rays are very closer. These two rays are very closer. If they are entering in our eyes, means these two are very closer. So for closer rays, what we will call paraaxial rays. So for paraaxial rays, this side and this side will be equal, this side and this side will be equal. So here I will write BO is equivalent to, this BO is equivalent to AO. Next, this BI is equivalent to AI. So here BI is equivalent to AI, nearly equivalent. So here we will write refractive index of water with respect to air is equals to, in place of BO what we can write? AO. And in place of BI what we can write? AI. So next, after that, see here refractive index of water with respect to air is equals to, AO is what? A to O, this total depth is the real depth and this A to I distance is the apparent depth. So here I will write real depth divided by apparent depth. So now we got the relation between this real depth and the apparent depth. Means if you take the real depth divided by apparent depth, means that is always equal to refractive index. Refractive index of which medium is? The refractive index in which the incident ray is present. That refractive index we have to take here. So if you take this refractive index equals to real depth divided by the apparent depth. So this is the formula, and this formula we will use in the numericals. Next, after that we will do the calculation for the normal shift. So normal shift is equals to, see here this distance from where the image is formed, image to this object, this distance we will call it as the normal shift. Now we will calculate this normal shift. So to calculate this normal shift, what we will do means we will take this total depth minus this depth, then we will get the value. So normal shift is equals to real depth minus apparent depth minus apparent depth. So now this normal shift we will write it as NS. Real depth is how much? AO. So I will write here AO minus apparent depth is AI. So now see here AO we will write as it is minus AI can be written as, using this relation. See this relation. In this relation AI can be written as AI is equals to AO divided by refractive index. So like this we can write. So I will use this relation and I will write here AO divided by refractive index. Next, after that AO is common in both the side. AO 1 minus 1 by mu. So therefore normal shift is equals to AO 1 minus 1 by mu. So next after that, this AO is called as the thickness, which is represented as T, thickness of the medium. So here normal shift is equals to T of 1 minus 1 by mu. In some books, in place of T they have written as D. D means depth and T means thickness, both are same. Some books they have given here D and some books they have given it as T. Anyone you can use, either T or the D, both are the same. That is the thickness of that medium, means the thickness of this water medium. If this thickness is less, T value is less. If thickness is more, then T value will be more. So next after that, see here, this normal shift is dependent on what factor? So this normal shift is dependent on the thickness of the medium and the refractive index of the denser medium with respect to rarer medium. So here this can be written as refractive index of denser medium with respect to rarer medium. So always you have to take the refractive index of denser with respect to rarer. So this is the formula for the normal shift, and this normal shift is dependent on the T and the refractive index. If there is a T value, if this thickness is more, then normal shift is also more. If the thickness is less, then normal shift is also less. Similarly, the refractive index of which medium? Of denser with respect to rarer medium. So this is all about the real depth and the apparent depth. Real apparent depth means appears, which is the false depth, means our eye is not having capacity to see this object. Because of refraction it will be appeared here, so this depth is not the real, so it is called as the apparent depth, and this is the real depth. Next after that, we will solve the numericals based on this formula and based on this formula. These two formulas are necessary and important for the numericals. So in next video we will discuss about the critical angle and the lateral shift. Still lateral shift we have to learn, and the critical angle, total internal reflection, all this we will discuss in the next video. Thank you.